Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're taking a look at Sanguinia. I've been saying Sanguinia, but I think it's Sanguinia is how I'm going to say it from now on. That's what we're going to stick with. She is an epic support champ. She is fantastic. I am really impressed with her. Her diversity as far as what she's capable of across the whole game and how many different gear sets you can put on her and still be effective. It's really top tier stuff that she's got going on. So we're going to show her off in most of the content in the game. She can also actually do some pretty decent damage, and you can use her in clan boss as a cleanser. I'm not going to cover that in this video for the sake of time. Maybe later we'll do a clan boss team that involves her. If you want to see that, Murder Inc. did a video on her a while back, and he focused a little more on her damage and talks about how to use her in clan boss if you want to check that out. Today, we're focusing on her ability to support, and we're taking a look at her everywhere. Arena, Dragon, Fire Knight, Ice Golem, and Spider. She's actually pretty helpful in Spider, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So the structure of this video is going to be a little different than normal. I'm probably going to be talking a bit more at different parts of it than I tend to usually. But let's go ahead and talk about her skills real quick, and then we'll talk about the different builds and what we're going to be looking at today. On her A1, she's got a 3-hitter. Each hit has a 20% chance of decreasing the duration of 2 random buffs on the target by 1 turn. Skilled up, it's a 30% chance. So it's a 3-hitter. Each hit has a 30% chance of decreasing the duration of 2 random buffs. This is so much more useful than I think that you might think at first glance. This is particularly in Arena very handy when you think about situations where you're ending up with, if Valk is dropping counterattack and shields on everybody, or, someone's got an unkillable. There's a couple of examples of how this can really shine when we get to the Arena section of the video. This is excellent. This is really, really nice, and it's a lot. You can strip counterattack and shields off of someone completely right after Valkyrie puts them up with the skill. So that's a good example of how useful this can be. So it's nice that even when she's on cooldown on everything else, she still can contribute very heavily with this A1. A2, we've got a block debuffs on all allies for 1 turn and a continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and with Masteries, you can increase the duration of buffs, so you can occasionally get this to go up for 2 turns, the block debuffs. Again, really nice skill. Block debuffs has its place in several different pieces of the game. So really nice little support skill here. On a 3-turn cooldown, not bad at all. There's ways you can get her to cycle back around through this where it's, up almost constantly. And then on her A3, attacks one enemy, 75% chance of transferring all debuffs from herself to the target, and then it cleanses your team of all debuffs, okay? You skill it up, it's 100% chance, which means it's just going to rely on accuracy. Now, this is on a 4-turn cooldown. Again, another fantastic skill. So in one champion, we've got a full team cleanse that also does damage and gets rid of any debuffs on her and puts them on the enemy. And also, we've got block debuffs, continuous heals, and buff strip. She's doing a lot, okay? She's got a lot going on here. So as far as builds go, as I said earlier, she's really diverse. You really can't go wrong. Whatever gear set you want to put on her, put it on her. She's pretty much good to go for everything. You want her to be fast, you want her to be tanky, you want her to be accurate. So your standard support that needs accuracy, the faster the better though, okay? So here she's in a build that we used for Fire Knight because I just wanted to see. I kind of tried to set her up on a team that was going to take hits from the Fire Knight, so I wanted retaliation just so that occasionally she'd hit back and just kick things off with her 3-hitter, knocking that shield down straight out of the gate. And then I think we left her on this for the Spider run as well. So it just kind of shows you don't even have to really have her on anything too specific to use her anywhere, because again, it's a very straightforward kit, but it's a very diverse kit. So Spider and Fire Knight are the last things we did. That's why she's still got this gear on. In Arena, we're running her in an immunity set, and I believe that's what she still has on in the Ice Golem run. And then in Dragon, we show her off in 2 different instances. One, I take my shield set off of Mausoleum Mage and put it on her to show that she can be a stand-in for him. If you don't have Mausoleum Mage, and that's keeping you, or you're having trouble finding a buffer to run a seer comp to run your speed runs, In a shield set, she can stand in for Mausoleum Mage with Seer. Just as effective. So maybe even more so. Because if the dragon does hit you and put a bunch of debuffs, she'll transfer what she's got on to him and still cleanse the full team, okay? So again, super handy. But I'll put whatever build she's got on in the appropriate clip up on the screen so that you can see what she's wearing in any given content. As far as masteries, we pretty much run these masteries on her across the board. There are, of course, other ways to set her up, as always, but this is what we're running here. So I wanted to give her some accuracy. I didn't bother with charge focus because I just didn't think I needed it. So that's why we didn't do it. The A1, the accuracy is pretty important, but again, if no skills are on cooldown, she's not using her A1 on auto, so it's not really a big deal. But we went with turn meter increase when buffs expire, accuracy for allies. I like the turn meter knockback on the A1. That can come in pretty handy in arena and anywhere, honestly, except dragon where you can't do it. Random cooldown reduction, buff extension. And then we went with timely intervention, where she gets turn meter anytime an ally drops below 25%. This just gives her an opportunity to come in and either cleanse or put up block debuffs, contribute in some way to maybe protect whoever's getting low in health. And then over here again, doesn't really matter. We reduce the damage she takes from crits. If she gets crowd controlled, she's got a chance to come back with block debuffs, resist for debuffs on her, and then a chance to counterattack and turn meter when allies get hit with critical hits. So that's a quick look at her skills. Again, very diverse. We're going to be taking a look at her basically everywhere, and I'll chime in occasionally with a little bit of commentary if there's anything specific that I want you to notice. But that's going to do it for her. I appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy seeing her do her thing. This was one of the instances where I was probably most impressed with her contribution. I'll put notations on the screen at some of the key moments, but I wanted to make a quick note, and it's a lot to put on the screen as far as text, but this team is not very well built. Droggold is probably the best built on the team right now. Sanguinia is the second best built. Apothecary doesn't even have a weapon. He's right around 200 speed. Ultimate Gallic and Caden are on stun sets, and they're leftover stun sets. So no one on this team is really built insane. It's not like I put super overpowered gear on everyone and am showing something that's not really happening. You'll see she has a couple of turn-saving or run-saving turns throughout this spider run. So again, I'll put notes up on the screen when important things happen, but just keep an eye on her and what she's doing and when. It's pretty impressive. This is one of those big moments I was talking about. This cleanse that she just put on Droggold removed the sleep, which kept him from missing a turn, which kept his cooldowns on pace. And now you'll see that he gets to put up buffs in time. He gets to buff and shield everyone in time for the spider's big hit. It also saves him from this big stack of poisons. If he'd have been fully maxed on poisons, he would have been in trouble. So it removed those, removed the sleep, kept him in time to offer his protection to everyone from the spider's big hits. So very crucial cleanse that she just brought to the table there. This is a perfect example of why the immunity set is so nice for Arena. If Shazar's faster here, she won't catch the bombs and she can cleanse them. If she's faster, she can preemptively put up block debuffs on the team, and as you can see, she just saved everyone from Shazar's bombs. So that's a really good example of why immunity set is good for Arena for her. Here we've got a good example of how she's going to perform on defense. This would be against your standard cleave, which is a very common offense, and we've got Trunda, so it's a scary one at that. But we've got our immunity set, so we're not catching any debuffs, which means she's going to be pretty safe. She didn't catch the stun, she didn't catch anything, and now she's cleansed the full team. We're back in the fight, right? Immediate turnaround. I want you to take note of what she does on auto on this one, because this is indicative of good AI. You'll see we had no debuffs or anything. She opted to go with the A2. So there was nothing to cleanse. She decided to protect everyone, which means she's making good decisions, which means she's going to be a little more problematic, right? She's going to be harder to predict, harder to deal with on a defense. If you wanted to set up a good bruiser offense that you wanted to auto, she's a good candidate for that. You could see this team is probably a pretty safe auto in most cases. So that's good. It's good to know that she's got good AI on top of just being amazing in other places as well. So something I wanted to note.